Welcome back to the 9 News Business Buzz. I'm Ryan Frazier, 9 News Business Expert. For the last few years, small businesses have been dealing with the combination of high interest rates and inflation, but the lending markets and the tax codes are shifting. New permanent tax provisions are locking in a 20% deduction for small business income and allowing 100% immediate write-offs for heavy equipment. Furthermore, on May 1st, the Small Business Administration is rolling out a highly aggressive new loan program to push capital directly into the manufacturing sector. Joining us to break down the mechanics of these changes and what they mean for your bottom line is Justin Everett, Regional Administrator for the Small Business Administration. Justin, welcome on the program.
Thanks for having me on, Ryan.
It's actually great to have you back on the program. So good to see you.
Surprised I was invited back. No.
Thank you for being here with us. Let's start with the tax side. Small businesses are now able to leverage a permanent 20% tax deduction on qualified business income. Walk us through the mechanics on this and how does this help keep capital in-house? Fundamentally, this change the hiring or expansion calculus for local business owners.
Yeah, this administration is all about lowering costs, so that's more money in the hands of small business for economic, outputs instead of it actually going to the government. So it frees up working capital, the cash that you have to operate. So that could be hiring more employees, buying new equipment, expanding your facility. Money that's not going to the government that we can directly reinvest in businesses.
Yeah, I was saying off camera that I feel like this has got to be one of the best roles to have because you get to work with small businesses all across this region. So, and as we said, small businesses are so important to Colorado and our local economies all across the country. Now, we're also seeing provisions that allow this 100% expensing for new equipment and modernization. As a business owner myself, I would tell you that most business owners will tell you this is huge. From a CFO's perspective, being able to deduct the full cost of a heavy machine in year one rather than depreciating it over a decade is massive. What kind of industrial movement are you seeing in Colorado as a result of this write-off?
Yeah, this is a huge game changer. Being able to expense 100%, we're seeing, every time I visit a business or go to a round table, I get a lot of excitement from businesses saying, hey, we expense this equipment 100%, it's amazing. So it's a determining factor whether they buy the equipment or don't buy the equipment. And so to be able to write it off in your first year, against your profit has been huge. It also frees up more working capital. So again, hiring more employees, expanding your facility. It's a complete game changer, and it's been kind of fun to watch. When you tour some businesses, they'll have bumper stickers on the side of the new equipment they bought. 100% expense. So it's been really cool.
Yeah. Now, on the capital access front, Justin, the SBA is rolling out a new loan program on May 1st. That's this Friday, focused specifically on manufacturing, featuring a 90% guarantee. What specific types of made in America manufacturers are you trying to inject this capital into?
So there's two, actually. So there's the grocery guarantee and the Made in America guarantee. Okay. And just so people understand that the SBA does back loans for working capital, business acquisition, real estate, equipment and supplies, refinancing business debt. So usually those guarantees are between 50 and 75%. So this bumps it up to 90%. So it's better terms for businesses, more access to capital, and it's huge. It's huge. And so we've gotten a lot of interest rolling up into the May 1st rollout. The grocery guarantee, it's basically farm to table food supply chain. So it's about lowering costs for consumers and lowering costs for businesses, getting access to capital, expanding their operations. And then the Made in America guarantee, also back to 90%, goes sort of across the manufacturing sector. So everybody benefits from that.
Yeah, I think one of the things for our viewers that sometimes may be missed is on a 90% guarantee. If you're a bank or a lending institution and you have the SBA providing a 90% guarantee, that means they're more likely to open that capital up to these small businesses who might otherwise struggle to get access to capital. And so that's kind of, I think, why this, in my view, is pretty significant on the SBA's part. And clearly with the grocery program and the manufacturing program, you have two areas that you all are specifically targeting to try to drive more loans and capital too. I do want to talk about beyond the loans and taxes. Business owners deal with a massive amount of federal regulatory friction. The SBA houses the Office of Advocacy and the Ombudsman for Colorado business owners who feel that they are burdened by federal red tape. How do these offices act as a shield to help them navigate the bureaucracy?
Yeah, we have two offices that were underutilized in former administrations. The Office of Advocacy, it's been around since 1976. Their job is to push back against federal regulations. So there's supposed to be a small business impact statement that's supposed to be put out when a federal agency promulgates a new rule. So usually small businesses don't have an opportunity to go testify against it. the advocate's office produces studies and pushes back against these federal regulations. And usually the federal burden and regulation is what drives up costs. So again, this is all about lowering costs. Red tape at SBA.gov, a great way to start. Also, if you go to advocacy.sba.gov, another way to start to find out about that program in particular, if you're encountering some issues. And then the Ombudsman's office is kind of interesting. So the best way to explain it in a nutshell, instead of getting too nerdy on the policy, is if the federal government is doing something they shouldn't be doing, the Ombudsman can step in and get them to stop. If they aren't doing something they should be doing, then they can get them to do what they're supposed to be doing.
Great stuff. At the end of the day, business growth comes down to the cost of capital, consumer demand, and the certainty of the tax code. With 100% expensing and a new 90% guaranteed SBA loans hitting the market, the foundation is being laid to accelerate domestic manufacturing. We'll be watching closely to see how Colorado business owners deploy these new tools. Regional Administrator Justin Everett, thanks so much for your insight. Great to have you back on the program. For the 9 News Business Buzz, I'm Ryan Frazier. Have a great week.